The other thing I learned in hypergrowth is you go through, and it's classic organizational behavior stuff, you go through different changes to your organization. Running a company with a single office with 10 staff, and you can get up to about, maybe you get up to about 50. If you're really good with your time, you probably get up to 100 where you've got line of sight and you can, as an entrepreneur, sort of keep all the balls in the air. You go past 100, it doesn't matter how many hours you work, you will not be able to do it efficiently. And God forbid you go to multiple offices. I remember when we had our first European office in a different time zone, I had to completely change my management style. And then as we got bigger, we had to go to divisional because even the complexity of multi-office became too hard. So keep in mind there are very different structures. And the dilemma that you get into with this, how you design, they always say an army fights on its stomach. How you design the back office has more to do with your success later on than anything else. Once you've got the right product or widget in the right market and the right sales mix and what have you, your single biggest issue is, do you have your back office, your ERP systems, your HR, do you have that set up to allow the people in the field to grow? Big lesson there. At the beginning, when you're entrepreneurs, it's all about the front office. As you start to grow in your mature phase, it's all about the back office. Key decision that we took was to not necessarily just do organic internal growth, but to also go outside. And so just locally here, a company called Hummingbird, which I'd also bought, a company called TC Docs, was in our space. And mergers can both facilitate and complicate your life. But you as an entrepreneur, you have to keep your mind open. And you have to avoid this NIH, so-called not invented here syndrome. Because what that is, that's the self-interest of the incumbent management. Guard against that. Because that will lead, you'll be on the road to ruin with that. Mergers can assist organic growth, but they cannot replace core technology. By definition, you have to develop your core technology yourself. Get people, applications, and customer base, it's great for that. Mergers create potential conflicts of culture, strategy, implementation. It's really hard. The hardest merger that I've ever been part of is where both companies were the same size. Those are really hard. Because then, there's nobody really in charge. And that actually, as I look back, that's the hardest merger you can do. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but recognize that it's pretty hard. The last point, which helps on M&A, which I learned, the best M&A happens before the deal is signed. Most M&A fails, and it fails because at the beginning, they didn't work out truthfully. Who was going to do what? They didn't assess properly. Somebody paid too much or paid too little. One of the great things in OpenText that I'm most proud of is all the acquired companies. Generally speaking, all the senior management, including the CEOs, stayed with OpenText. And that's a great testimony. In fact, I'm going to send her a note. John Myers is CEO of Centricity. And Centricity was a TSX listed company here in Richmond Hill. Well, here in Markham, over in Richmond Hill. John now runs some of the stuff I'm going to show you in a minute. And it's a good example. People vote with their feet.